The Eagles are in the fucking Super Bowl.
Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington football podcast by fans for fans. With your hosts, Jesse Martin.
You want to play what? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
John Taylor.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
And Keith Gray.
The King, your majesty.
And now here's your host, John Taylor.
Hey everybody, I am John Taman. As you can see by our nifty new titles down at the bottom there, I am known as what I used to be called when I was back in college, throwing all kinds of touchdown passes and winning all kinds of races in the Olympics. I am Captain Awesome. Nice to meet everybody. Over there is my friend from Southeast Virginia, King Ding Dong. That's a beautiful name. I like that one, King Ding Dong. If I remember right, now here goes an old guy moment. There used to be a Hostess cupcake thing called a Ding Dong, right? They were pretty damn good. Or I think they were made by Drake. I don't know. Somebody correct me on that. Yam will tell me. But there was a King Ding Dong. So we might have to have a fight between you and an actual cream-filled chocolate pastry. That would be all right to see who's name.
The pastry would probably win at this point because I am on a strict food regiment right now.
So,
I can't even have that in my house. Kids hate me. It's all health food, and I hate myself. All health food.
See, this is what happens, Scotty. He cut his beard down, right? Now he doesn't look like a freaking biker. Now he looks like a hippie. So now he's got nothing in his house but sticks and fucking leaves to eat and shit. You got some bark off of an aspen tree, huh? This will be good for you. Whatever. And, of course, our friend from Barrow and Furnace, UK, classing up the joint. And I did. That's what I said, didn't I? I fucking
Good evening, gents. Both all right?
What's up, Scotty?
I said, are you both okay? Yeah,
I mean,
all good.
I ain't speaking for Jesse. He's eating nothing but,
tree bark and huel.
Recycled cardboard. He's doing it all for the environment too. But yet he's still sucking on that damn vape pipe of his. So go figure.
Down 15 pounds.
Well, that's
good,
good.
man. Well
that's
done.
Good. That's good. I'll tell you what else, help you lose weight is cancer.
Jesus Christ, John.
What a way to start the podcast. Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Now, you kids at home, don't try that. I'm not telling you to go out and do that. Anyway, all right. So, there's not a whole lot of Commanders news this week. The news of this week is that there's absolutely no news whatsoever. I think the big highlight of the week was that the sports junkies tried to start a whole bunch of shit.
Oh God, I'm glad you brought that up because I just want to say this loud and clear to all our listeners out there. If you listen to Eric Bickle, just stop. He is such a fucking douchebag. Like he even said that he went to Anthony Lynn because of the radio show of what he heard on the radio show to try to save face, which is fucking utter total fucking bullshit.
Oh, wait a minute. So he's taking credit for them interviewing Anthony Lynn, a qualified with a good track resume, right?
This was known a couple of weeks ago that the Commanders were targeting Anthony Lynn.
We talked about
possible.
it.
Yeah. So, just Eric Bickle, just shut the fuck up, man. I don't understand why people still listen to those idiots because
they're on the radio.
They don't know anything. They have no news, no good insights. They make shit up, and it's terrible. It's fucking terrible, man.
I will say this, and you're right. I don't like this show at all. Because about 20 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, about that, when they were just new on JFK or whatever it was called then, I was in a drive-through listening to them in the morning one time, getting ready to get some breakfast and head off to work. And their topic of the morning was, did you bang your wife over the weekend? And I'm like, I just don't need that kind of stupid shit anymore. You've got nothing to talk about. That's just not something to talk about. And it's not like I am immune to talking about tasteless things, as we have found out on this show multitudes of times. I have other ways that you can wait, and one of them is dysentery. That you can get away with. I would say, a good stomach virus, kids. Go out there and start licking some.
Being British,
down.
John, there's nothing wrong with a bit of dysentery, mate.
Hey,
we're used to over this side of the pond, bruv.
Right. I'll tell you what. If I could ask you for one piece of British cuisine that you would recommend over all else that we should try, what is it?
One piece of British cuisine.
Right.
The Scotch egg.
A Scotch egg? Now, see, I've heard what those are. No, thank you.
Oof, they're nice. I like Scotch eggs. Anyway,
you do.
Yeah.
All right, would you like to explain the Scotch egg to the people that are out
there? A Scotch egg is a soft-boiled, almost hard-boiled egg, if you like, with a soft centre. A soft-boiled, surrounded by a pork mixture. So it would be pork, almost like pork mince, and then it's breadcrumbed on the outside. It's very nice.
Pork mixture. See, pork mixture. You mean like deviled ham?
Yeah, almost like
that's like the pork bits that fall on the ground after when they cut them up.
When they sweep it up, yeah.
A mincy pork. I think
like
with Porky Pig, he was kind of mincy, don't you think?
Yeah, maybe Major Tuddy. I don't know. Yeah,
Major Tuddy. He could be mincy. That's right. He could be out there. Let's go score a touchdown.
That was another bit of news. News this week was the outcry of Major Tuddy going to the Pro Bowl. I mean,
gives a shit.
There's no one got anything better to talk about.
Balloon toss. The Pro Bowl is fucking guys in the NFL throwing water balloons. What the hell? Who gives? If you're upset because Major Tuddy is there, but you're out there watching, you know why? Because you're upset because you saw him, and you saw him because you're watching it, and you realize these guys are doing fucking 6th grade fucking fair day events.
Yeah,
for the Pro Bowl.
I mean, people are just whining, just to fucking whine. At this point, crying about everything. Oh my God, Ron Rivera went and played golf. Who fucking cares?
Exactly. I mean, dude, they're working probably 15-hour plus days every single day throughout the season. Is the guy not entitled to have a bit of fucking downtime?
Dude, I'm telling you what.
I mean, honestly.
They sent 17 fucking people to the goddamn senior
exactly,
and people are up in arms because he's playing fucking golf. Get the fuck over yourselves.
Jesse, you play golf, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're in a foursome and it's not your shot, do you have time to check your phone?
Absolutely.
Oh my God! You think that maybe Ron might think to do that?
Jesus Christ! No.
Oh my God! You think that maybe he might be able to get some messaging in fucking California? I don't know. So, Scotty, where are you calling in from? You're from it's like somewhere on the other side of the world, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And yet I can hear you clear as a bell. My God. Honestly.
We've got Yam Starch in a chat calling in from Japan. I mean, come on. What's going on in the world?
Yeah, we're circling the world. And yet Ron cannot get information from the Senior Bowl because he's not standing there on the sidelines.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Good to see you guys in the in the chat, Yam and Hunter. It's I don't know how many more of these things we're gonna do before we go into our off season.
Yeah.
But it's been fun. Since we started this live tidbit, chatting with the guys and bringing Scotty on and making fun of Keith when he's not here, which is like every fucking show.
He's coaching basketball tonight as
well.
But
it's been a minute. It's
been a hot minute.
I have a theory, dude. Remember, right around last year, this weekend, a year ago this weekend, we were preparing to dump all kinds of disgusting food all over Keith.
True.
His wife was getting ready to slap him in the face with cat food, right?
Yeah, I think I think he dipped out.
He's been duffing us, so that he can
because of that. Because he did agree on the what did we come up with? Getting waxed.
The wax.
Brazilian wax.
Right. I think the waxing would be right. I would think that would be fun. But see, I also have another theory that he developed himself a taste for potted meat that he didn't expect. And now he weighs like 350 pounds, and that's why he's in the gym all the time. He doesn't want to come on the show.
He's taken all of Jesse's pounds and put it on himself. Yeah, maybe. Wow. He can have some of mine if he wants it. Yeah.
So shout out to Keith and his youth basketball team. Wish him all the best of luck. What's up, Yam? What's up, Templar? All right. So we got a little bit of Commanders talk, I guess, this week, which is no talk. So they haven't even had a second interview with anybody. What does that tell you?
It's telling you because they're targeting a couple of people right now that they really want.
Right.
They either want Anthony Lynn which is now he's available. And that's what that meeting was about in San Francisco, to gauge interest. But they really want Bieniemy. Obviously, Bieniemy is not taking any interviews right now until the Super Bowl is over with. And more power to them. I totally understand that. They want to concentrate. They want to win. They want to get that ring. Totally understand. And I think it's probably going to be between us and the Ravens. And you saw today that the Ravens have been, bringing in a couple people for extra interviews. So maybe Bieniemy might just fall in our hands. I would be good with either Lynn or Bieniemy. Be honest with you, I think either one of those would be fine hires. And who knows? Maybe neither one of them want to come to this team because for the potential of as you guys say, a lame duck season. Who knows? But there's a reason why they're waiting, and they're targeting these two guys, and they could be targeting someone from the Eagles staff. You just don't know because the true. Eagles have
has been really down low.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's I think after the Super Bowl is when the offensive coordinator is going to be named.
Yeah, their passing game coordinator of the Eagles is really highly rated. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but he is quite highly rated. I'll have to look it up and find out. There's been a bit of talk around some of the teams around the NFL looking at him as well. So maybe they are waiting for the Eagles to finish up and obviously talk to Bieniemy. I would have thought Bieniemy may have done it this week if there was a chance of it, because obviously it's Pro Bowl week. But I understand completely why, if they're settling for that ring, they're trying to scheme up against the Eagles. So yeah, I can get why that's happening. It's going to be the off season.
All right, so I'll tell you what. Let's play with these. We'll go with Anthony Lynn and we'll go with Eric Bieniemy as our two main choices, and we'll play a little bit of this. Attaboy. That's fine. Get out of here. All right, so give me a butt pat for either one of them. Scott, go ahead. You're first. Why do you favor either one? Do you favor either one of these guys?
I
know.
I'd favor Anthony Lynn. Just he's had the opportunity to be a head coach before. He understands. He's done it at the Chargers for 3 years. You don't always get the opportunity to go back straight into the head coaching routine. If Ron truly wants to do this run first offense, he's kind of your guy. I know that Bieniemy was a running back before when he played, but there's still been some questions with him and why he hasn't got a head coach job yet, because he's had interviews. So why hasn't he shook out?
15 interviews with 14 teams.
There you go. So why hasn't he shook out now? And there is always that question mark with Bieniemy as well, as to how much of the plays is he calling? What is actually happening with Andy Reid and him? It's clear that Andy Reid wants him to succeed, which is great. And he's happy to have him thrive. I don't know. Ultimately, maybe that's why they're waiting, because Ron's got that big connection from the Andy Reid coaching tree, and that's why he trusts him. I mean,
guess.
Christ,
you should look at our history with Randy Reid here in Washington. I would say this: looking at Andy Reid and looking at Eric Bieniemy, maybe Andy Reid keeps him around because they're like cheeseburger buddies.
Possibly.
I mean, shoot, who can pound down a freaking rack of ribs better than those two? I would say.
My butt pat for Anthony Lynn is, you kind of touched on it. There's Scotty. He's really good at the run game, but also, is 3 or 4 seasons running the offense out in, I think, San Diego. He had a top. It was top 5 or top. Yeah.
Wide receivers always excelled. His running game always excelled.
Yeah, 3 of the 4 was the top 5 offense, and the 4th season was the 8th ranked offense. So, yeah, why not bring him in? I mean, I think you got the likes of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams out there that excelled under his offense, and he drafted Justin Herbert. And, he's good with young quarterbacks because, I think he excelled better in Lynn's system than he did in the coach that's there now, the idiot that they have now. But yeah, I think, I like either. I mean, I think I would prefer Bieniemy just because of the fact that he's been with Andy Reid for 5 years. He has worked and molded or helped mold Pat Mahomes. He's seen everything. He's seen it all. He's got a ring. He's been to the playoffs every single year, for the past 5 years. I think, to me, it's not a coin flip, but I think I would just be good with either one of these guys.
Yeah, I would too. I think go on, John. Sorry, mate. I tried to cut you off there. I was just saying there, you could go with the two. Go on, mate. You go.
No, add on. Go ahead. You had a thought about what Jesse said.
Yeah, I did. I was just going to say, you've got the two ways of thinking there. You've got the winning mentality from Bieniemy to bring in that culture of, I've constantly been in the playoffs. I'm always in the postseason. I know what it takes to win, which is fantastic. But you've also got that, if they're going to go down that hard-nosed run-first type offensive play calling, then Anthony Lynn's your man. But what is interesting is no NFL team over the past 5 years has ever run more than 53% of the time.
I want to talk about that.
This whole 2-to-1 thing is just nonsense.
Okay, I definitely want to talk about that. The 2-to-1.
All right. Well, I'll get to that, but because let me give you what I've got here. For one, I'm going to go ahead and give that to Anthony Lynn because he's the one of the two that I would much rather have for practically every reason that you guys said, especially his ability to work with a younger quarterback. The fact is, I don't want to take on the experiment of Eric Bieniemy. I don't want to take on the experiment. There's too many questions, and most of them revolve around how come nobody has hired this guy. That guy has had 15 interviews, 14 teams. The Jets brought him back for twice, and nobody has bitten at the apple. We have a problem with experiments. All right. Whenever we go for one, they blow up in our face. And I know that's not a logical reason, except for there's red flags here. Can he run an offense that doesn't have an actual? Now, I know this is an overused term, a generational talent, but Patrick Mahomes he's an actual one. For all you people out there that hear that term every goddamn year, look, there's one right there. When he came out as a rookie, I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit. I'm going to pat Mahomes myself on the back because I can pull up audio, although I don't have it with me tonight, to show you that when he was a rookie, I picked them to go to the goddamn Super Bowl. I said he would take over for Alex Smith halfway through the season and watch this kid, Patrick Mahomes. And my partner on Bang Radio Hour was laughing at me. What? And they went to the Super Bowl the next year. This guy's already a Hall of Famer. He's in his 5th year. How often have you ever seen a guy that quick as a lock? He's really got to fall off for him.
When Pat Mahomes was coming out, people said that they overdrafted Pat Mahomes, that he was going to be a poor man's.
This kid saw it.
Brett Favre. Now,
how much
do you attribute that to Eric Bieniemy though?
I don't know how much I attribute it to him, because I think
he's definitely had his hands on him though.
But how often do you call up? All right, okay, Patrick, we're going to go ahead. You flip around backwards 3 or 4 times, try to escape the rust, throw it under your leg upside down to the receiver that just broke off his route with 30 yards of groping grass in front of him. He does that shit all the time. He does stuff out of nowhere all the time. How do you call? I mean, they don't have play calls that say when the protection breaks down, fucking run around like a squirrel and then just fucking throw it into the guy right in front of you who's breaking in on you. They run backyard football. All right. They run football that's broken plays that turn into magic. And for one, Patrick Mahomes has always had a knack for doing that. He's always in college, man. They attributed it to the system that he was in and the weak conference that he was in, but he put up unbelievable, astronomical numbers doing shit like that. All right. So how do you coach that? You really don't. You really don't. So I don't know how much of it is Eric Bieniemy. I don't see that it's all that much. I don't see that it's all much more than anybody. It's like being Peyton Manning's fucking offensive coordinator. You call down there, sorry, Peyton, call the game. I'm going to get some coffee. And you're out. Right. So I'll take Anthony Lynn. I really would rather Eric Bieniemy go on up to Baltimore. And I think that if they can retain Lamar Jackson, he can do some shit up there with him because he's similar.
Yeah.
Nowhere near the passer as Pat Mahomes. Nowhere near.
He flew unbelievable, behind the back shit either. He's dynamic, is what I'm saying. All right, but Mahomes is unbelievable. How do
you kind of nailed it right there, John? It's the fact of the matter is, unless you find your franchise quarterback, it don't matter who you are, man. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you could have the best play calls in the fucking world, and if your guy can't hit your receivers, or your guy messes up a call, or if your guy holds the ball a little bit too long,
sure,
it's going to be over.
Stop making excuses for Scott Turner. Listen,
I'm not making this. I'm talking in general, man. This is in general. I mean, the NFC playoff game was. I mean, that proved my point. It doesn't matter if you don't have a competent quarterback behind center, you're not going to win any games. I mean, poor Josh Johnson. They had to bring in one-arm Brock Purdy back in to finish that fucking game.
Well, because Johnson's head bounced off the turf.
That's what I
said
mean.
During the day, I said, there's not. You hear the phrase all the time that your luck ran out, but it's not very often that you can see the exact moment that it ran out.
Yeah,
his head went off the turf, and that was it. You're done. No
done.
chance.
I mean, even like the Niners run was over with as soon as Purdy got hit in the arm, and that was it. I mean, they lucked out. They got a smart guy. They've had 3 starting quarterbacks go start on any other team in the league almost. I mean, how lucky how does fucking San Francisco get 3 quarterbacks that we would? Dude, I want to know open arms.
I want to know how Josh Johnson traipses around the league being nothing more than a schmuck, takes a job half the year at UPS, and ends up in the fucking NFC Championship game.
No shit.
Honestly, God, when he came in, weren't you kind of like, oh God, if he wins, that would be so great. If he goes to the Super Bowl.
Listen, fair play to him. He has earned $21 million. Fair play to him.
I would take. Aaron Donald bearing down on me, knocking my head in the dirt for half that money.
Exactly. I mean,
right. I can play. I can get under center. Come on, put me in, coach. Let's go.
So,
but what I'm saying, my point is it don't matter if it's Anthony Lynn, if it's Eric Bieniemy, if they don't get a quarterback, or if if Hal's not the guy. Then they're not going to succeed.
What the most Washington things to do now would be Pat Shermer, wouldn't it? you just know it.
I mean, it
would be a coach Tom Brady out of retirement with like $60 million, and then Pat Shermer.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah. Right. And also too, they gotta want to come here. They gotta want to sign on the dotted line too. You know what I mean? I mean, we could still very well end up with a Zampese or a Shermer, and it might not be the worst thing in the world, but at least they're holding their cards. They're waiting for what's best available. Is what I'm trying to say.
I'm gonna give you my impression. This is Ron at the interview, right? Ready? So, your dad in the Army?
Any connections to the Marine Corps?
That's right. Mom was in the Navy, was she? Okay. So, all right. Now, of those two, are those the two that are narrowed down to who you would prefer? Because I'm still kind of interested in a guy like the Dolphins dude. They didn't bring him back for a second interview.
I mean, I'd be interested with someone like Brown too. That they've interviewed once. But you're taking a gamble on that too. That's the first time he'd be a first time offensive coordinator. But he'd be someone that. He would bring a lot of energy to the room, and I think I think the players would like him. I mean, he's well liked in L.A. with the Rams. So I don't know enough about Studsville, so I really don't have an opinion on him, to be honest with you.
Like I said, his name is Studsville. You can work with that. All right, so Yam starts here in our chat just brings up a decent point. From far east Japan, I saw someone saying "Why be enemy" with his past, and I'm like, isn't that long in the past, like 20 plus years ago?
Yeah,
and that's true. It is in the past. However, he did kill 3 people in an armed robbery of a Brinks truck. Let's not forget that. All right, it was a college prank gone wrong, but they said he did get away with $13 million. Nobody's ever found.
That's stupid.
Right. Okay. Honest to God, his past, I swear to God, I can't even remember what the hell it was. What did he do?
I don't remember either.
So there you go. Yes, I think it doesn't make any difference. Who cares?
Listen, he could be the worst interviewer in the world, and this is what has been coming out. You listen to like Kevin Sheehan and John Keim interview other people from Kansas City, and they say he's a bad interview, but that doesn't make him a bad.
I've heard players have a problem with him too.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard players have a problem with him too. And besides, I think that to be the best interview, Eric Bieniemy's first answer would be, "Yes, my father was in the Army, and so was my grandfather." Ron will be like, "I don't see what the problem is with this guy at all."
So Hunter brought this up earlier. I'm going to put that up on the screen here. There. Should we begin looking into artificial intelligence to provide more accurate officiating in the NFL? Now, over in the UK, the Premier League, they do
VAR.
The VAR, which I hear it's terrible.
Awful. Absolutely awful.
It would have to be more or less. I think you need to have a group of people actually watching screens, watching the replays like immediately. I know they start or they tried a thing with the chip in the football this year to and that's mainly for first down marking for TV.
That's right. So Jesse, there's been a chip. I didn't realize this. There's been a chip in the ball for the last 5 years.
Really?
I had no idea. I watched a guy. It was about next gen stats. Exactly right, John. And it's around first down markings. It's around the velocity of the ball. It's around where it's placed, how dinked up the ball gets through the game. I didn't know there was a chip inside the ball, but there has been. For me, I think you need to have someone in rugby, for example, rugby union and rugby league. We have what we call a TMO, so a television match official, who basically sits in a truck outside the stadium and beams through, looks at the screens, as you said, beams through what's gone on. Is it a try? Is it a knock on? What's happened? And I think if we had completely independent people doing that game, it would be okay. I don't like this whole, we'll go for the expedited review in New York. We'll ask whether it is a touchdown, whether it isn't a touchdown. And then it comes out and, people are now starting to talk about it's rigged, it's scripted.
They always say that.
I mean, it's getting ridiculous. But then you look at Ron Torbert, and Ron Torbert comes out and says, yeah, my son had a bet on Kansas City. That's not a good thing to say.
No, it's not a good look.
To find out when it's not a good look.
When gambling first got involved with the NFL, you gotta make sure that this is why all you people out there, why can't Pete Rose be in a Hall of Fame? This is why, because if your league even has the sniff of it, it can be ruined, destroyed. And besides, I think that if a guy in New York called down to the referee, in the Super Bowl and told him it was a knock on, the referee would say, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
All right,
but I can see
artificial intelligence denotes something else. Now, a chip. All right. See, the thing about a chip is the ball is such an oblong. Well, it is oblong, but it's such an oddball shape. All right, and because of the minutia that they have reduced this game down to. I mean, what was there the other day? It was one of the games in the playoffs, but there was a touchdown that was scored by like this much of the ball. All right, went over with the guy, and they're looking down the line, and they've got this camera that's right on the pylon and everything like that. So it's all about the angle of the ball, which can be in a literally countless ways. I mean, there's probably somebody out in our audience that's a fucking mathematician that can figure out how many different angles an oblong ball like that could possibly cross an invisible plane. So you'd have to have a chip that was small enough that you could sew it in the threads, like up through the seams, up through all 4 of those seams. And then you might be able to get something.
I think we need to go with lasers either side of the fucking markers, the 10-yard markers.
Yeah, that's always good on the running back.
Have a full laser across.
Got to see if he scored.
I think as far as artificial intelligence for like calling penalties or something like that, I think penalties they could have someone review them. Was it a pass interference or not? But you cannot lengthen the game. That's one thing that you cannot do is have the game lengthen. I think maybe because these calls they're
if I can put my finger on it right now.
They're
subjective.
Yeah, subjective calls. That's the word I was looking for. And I just don't know how artificial intelligence would be able to.
They can do it. What'll happen is if we have actual artificial intelligence, robotic intelligence, viewing the rule book and viewing each play through the fucking prism of the actual rule book, there's going to be so many flags on the field. Players are going to get hurt tripping over them every play because it's going to say everything is up to interpretation. There's
holding on every play. There's holding.
Well, I mean, aside from that, you could see that goes back decades. You could say that when I was a kid, I was holding on every play, right? Well, okay, but the fact of the matter is they've tried to legislate every slice of minutia down. I mean, goddamn it, look at the catch rules for Christ's sakes. The catch rules are unbelievably cumbersomely ridiculous. I always say, if you want to know whether that was a catch, and they're trying to look at it on TV, you call 10-year-old kids out playing football in the street. Hey, kid, come here. Is that a catch? He'll tell you in 5 seconds, right? I'd like that.
Come on.
It's in Seacock. There you go. Filled with inbreds and smells like hot garbage. Well, that does sound like a place like Seacaucus. Well,
should be shown in sepia. Yeah,
they need to cut down the rule book. They need to stop. Like, okay, this brings up something that I've seen today. All right, you saw the tackle that hurt Tony Pollard, right? Mm-hmm. Guy grabs him by the waist. They fall down. He's laid. He comes down on the back of his leg. Patrick Mahomes got hurt in a similar way. Now the owners meeting. They're going to tackle this problem.
Yeah,
this new problem. Look, here's what happens. Okay. As soon as they say, okay, well, this injury, this play causes more injuries than anything else, we're going to get rid of it. We're not going to have that anymore. Okay, so they're going to get rid of it. And then now there's new play that causes more injuries than anything else. And then before long, they got to get rid of, that's a tackle. You grab a guy by the waist and try to drag him down. That's
the past 10 years, they've limited to where you can tackle someone, how you can tackle someone. As soon, it's just going to be fucking flag football.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And I feel for the players because these players are so big, strong, fast. Like they have a split second to just. Sometimes they can't help but touch that fucking. If you touch just one finger on a quarterback's helmet, you get a fucking personal foul.
Right. That's what I say. If you're going to get up that high,
from that.
Club that motherfucker. Hit it.
Yeah.
We benefited from that in the Eagles game. So, it has moments.
But look, this guy, the play that Pollard got hurt, the guy has him he has his hands on his hips. He's not wrapped around or anything like that. He has his hands on his hips and he just pulls, he goes to the ground to use his weight to drag him down, right? What's wrong with that?
Not with that.
It's not like a horse collar where they're swinging from the guy.
Yeah.
It's just the way people fall. You're going to look at this game and you're going to have to realize, NFL, that it's a fucking rough game. It's a goddamn rough game. And people get hurt in the middle of it for no, malicious intent.
Shit happens, man. It's a physical game. And it's getting to the point where it's like, come on, guys. Like,
yeah. Look, the horse collar. Right, we were all watching football when that rule was implemented, right?
Sure.
Scotty, were you? Okay,
yeah,
that was the Roy Williams rule. The Cowboys' Roy Williams used to grab by the back of the neck and sling him down, and his legs would come down on top of that knee. Well, this isn't the same thing. He's down by the guy's hips.
Yeah.
He's not swinging on him like the guy's a fucking trapeze. All these people want to change the rules. It's absolutely insane. It's nuts. The object of the game on defense is to bring the man to the ground. And that's not a dirty hit. Pretty soon, all you're going to be able to do is hit them in the knee, and you're going to have knee injuries coming out the wazoo.
That's
sucks as well. What's your thoughts on this whole scripted bollocks then?
You know where it came from? Arian Foster and PCF.
Shut up. Shut up! Sit the fuck down and shut up!
Shut up, you
It was a
sit
fucking bit.
Shut up!
It was
Just sit your ass
fucking
down
joking,
here and shut
now
up.
people are fucking coming out of the fucking rear end with the shit, and
It's because everybody who loses money thinks it's rigged. Oh, I don't understand that call. It's rigged. Why could they do that? It's rigged. How can a referee possibly make a mistake? It's rigged. How come the NFL rulebook is so big that these refs go out on the field, put from behind the 8 ball right away before they even step on the field? It's rigged. No, it's not.
If we're going to improve the game, surely the first thing you would do is employ full-time referees, would you not?
I would think so.
I think there's like 5 of them, aren't there?
I don't know if there is or there isn't,
Yeah,
Jesse.
they
I'm
did.
not
They
sure.
did change that a couple of years ago.
Do we?
Yeah.
What do we think, gents? Then here's one for you that has come up in the news. We're now a year on as being the Commanders. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about that?
Y'all know my feeling when we first had it. I fucking hated the name. I'm fine with it now. Perfectly fine with it.
Change
Because
with it now.
it's the same thing. That's why. That's why I don't care. It's the same thing. Oh, we're middle of the pack, spinning our wheels. What are you?
All right, look, no matter what name they pick, whether it was the Red Wolves or it was the Hogs, whether it was the fucking Dixie fucking Chicks,
Well, that's not.
you weren't going to make fucking people happy. Period. Because it's not the name we all want.
I tell you what, if we named ourselves the Dixie Chicks, you'd make 31 other teams in the NFL happier than shit. You'd have fans all across this country laughing their heads off.
But I mean, that's the crux of it, and you're not going to make anybody happy.
To jump back,
it's not the Redskins.
To jump back real quick to this, it's scripted bullshit. For one, Arian Foster, if you go look him up in his past, he's had a lot of fun with a lot of things that he has said in the past about where if we're going back to college, where he was saying that he would call up his goddamn coach and threaten him because he was getting basically paid. Yo, man, I'm hungry. Bring me some dinner. Otherwise, I'm telling the paper. So Arian Foster is known for yanking people's chain.
Yeah.
But think about it this way. Everybody, when you think about a conspiracy, all right, everybody's conspiracies. Jesse, Scotty, how many people do you think it would take to actually rig an NFL game? One game. Get a score you want.
You can't keep a fucking fart quiet around here anyway. So how are you ever going to keep, how are you ever going to keep a game quiet like that?
If you're eating Scotch eggs all the time, I should hope not.
True.
Jesus
Listen,
Christ, I want warning.
If I fart up here, Portsmouth hears it, honestly, within a week. And that's the other side of the country. It's just like, I don't get it. You're going to have to probably, I don't know. We've got, you've got 104 people on the teams. Then you've got the coaching staff. Then you've got the referees. Then you've got the executives of the whole of. You're looking at 500 people just to rig a game. It's impossible. And why, if we're talking about sports betting as a whole as well, and scripting and all this sort of stuff, how on earth, why would you do it now? Why would you rig a game now when you have, 17 states that have legalized gambling? And next season or the season after, you're going to have 47. Surely you'd start doing it now. You know what I mean? In a couple of seasons, maybe. But it's just fucking stupid. Just conspiracy theories again. Just don't even listen to them.
They fall to the stupidest of us.
I'm sorry, Ian, but the black uniforms are the best part about the whole entire rebrand.
I agree. Yeah. I really like them.
Ian doesn't like them. The only thing I don't like is the W in front of the helmet. That's the only thing I don't like. But I've got.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, Sam. Over here in the States, I will do something about those black uniforms if I can. If you can go over there and talk to those people about that stupid pixelation they put on their movies, the most ridiculous things, and they make you can't see it. What the fuck is that? All right, so now I forgot what the hell I was saying. I got to thinking about pixels, and I'm all fucked up now. When it comes to a conspiracy, ask yourself this. How many people need to know? How many people need to know? All right. To rig a football game, there's so many goddamn moving parts. To get it within just it's not like basketball where you can shave a point or two and get a spread. All right. But in football, you have no idea. You have no way to control all the moving parts and how many different contingencies.
Too many moving parts. Like you said it right there. And too many moving parts.
Right. If you're going to gamble, okay, if you're going to try to fix a game, you're going to want to guarantee. You're not betting on something that you can't guarantee, and you can't guarantee that. You don't know what the hell's going to happen. Look at that Vikings-Bills game. My God, that motherfucker fumbled in the end zone. All right, after the Vikings. So which way was it fixed there? dummies. Which way was it fixed? Was it fixed for the Vikings to get stopped there so they wouldn't fucking cover that spread and they wouldn't win the game? Or was it fixed so that the Vikings would win the game so that then Josh Allen had to go in to fucking fumble? Which way did they
if you were Damar Hamlin reading that script, you wouldn't be a happy chap, would you? You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ. So, yeah, I mean, if more than one person has to know a secret, guess what's going to happen unless all the other people are dead? It's getting out. If you fucking rigged a game, and I mean, think about it, scripting, like you said, there's thousands of people employed by the NFL, right? Even if it's just coaches and players, we're talking how many years have they been doing this now? And nobody has said a word until Arian Foster decided to yap off today or yesterday. Get the fuck out of here. So yeah, I always figure there's a scene from The Simpsons in which Lisa has a smart friend. I think I told you all this. She goes over to her smart friend's house, and she's not smart enough to keep up with her smart friend and her father. So her father reaches into her pocket and gives her a little red rubber ball and says, here, maybe you'd like to play with this. And anytime any of these idiots bring up their fucking conspiracy theories, I want a red rubber ball so bad. Here, go play. Just the adults want to talk.
Yeah.
All right. So where are we now? Are we breaking into the Big and Boss book?
We can do, but what do you want to mention? Do you want to mention Bobby Beathard?
Only pixelated if they have pubic hair. I wouldn't know for sure, but bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on that. That's what I've been told anyway.
Bobby Beathard, greatest GM of the Redskins. Rest in peace, my man. He is he was great. I mean, he was good with the Dolphins. He brought Joe Gibbs in. Just hearing stories this past week, like Charlie Casserly has some really good ones I've listened from. He was on the radio with Kevin Sheehan, and he gave his guys, the ones that he brought in, the coaches, the leeway to do their jobs, and if
him and Gibbs fought quite a bit.
They did, but he can't. If we didn't fight, if they were just yes mans, then he wouldn't want them.
Right. They worked well together because they that's how they hashed it out.
Charlie
Casserly. If there's one message I could ever get to Charlie Casserly, it's enough with the fucking toupee, man. We all
get that syrup off. Just get that syrup off.
Right. I mean, I believe they've called a knock on that here.
He was 86. He was 86 years old, and Alzheimer's is an awful disease. So I really hope the family's got some rest, and and rest in peace. And I hope that they can, they can take his memories and with him, and it's well, exactly that, But no, good innings. He's had a good innings.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, 86 years old is another great way to lose weight.
Yeah,
tips for the day.
Look, for the day.
Bobby Beathard built those teams, but I mean, they had some stinkers too. The fact of the matter was, they found late round picks that worked out, and I'm talking back then, late round picks. I think like Dexter Manley was like a 7th. We got Monty Coleman in like the 15th round.
Joe Jacoby was undrafted. I mean,
he was an undrafted.
I think they had 12. Didn't they have 12 rounds back then?
They did. The 12 rounds.
Yeah, they had shit. I think in the 70s they had up to 15.
John, you can recall this like yesterday, weren't you? It's when you went to school on a Stegosaurus. But
I did. I rode to school on a Stegosaurus, and the best part of it is my Stegosaurus seat was right next to Judy. I liked her. She was there. So. Fact of the matter was, for if you were a boy back in those days and you wanted to tell a girl she was cute, you bashed her on the head with a club and dragged her home by the hair to show her to your father.
There you go.
It's just the way it worked.
Big and Boss book time.
Yeah,
all right, Big and Boss book. All right, so how bad did we do last week? Let's find the music on it.
I think we all lost money.
What the fuck is that?
Oh wait, that's the wrong music.
It's very appropriate.
Yeah, I think that works.
So looking at it, Jesse 0 out of 2, myself 0 out of 2, John 1 out of 2. Well,
hey!
So John is this week's winners on the predictions. And on the on the scores or on the betting, Jesse, you laid 700 and your returns were 0.
That was an emphatic 0.
John, you laid down 600. Your returns were 435, giving you a minus 165. Myself,
right,
I put down 600. My returns were 280 because I backed the under on both of them. And I got 320 as a minus return. So, yeah, we all did very, very well there, yeah. Overall, though, it's interesting, John. So here we go for the full year. So we've been doing this since week 10, by the looks of it. And the total bets cast, here we go, Jesse, you have cast $12,500. And your returns were 15,782.
Hear that, IRS?
Yeah, so exactly. Yeah. Make sure you do your Intuit Turbo taxes. Anyway, others are available. Your profit was 3,282. John, $11,150 this year laid down. Returns of 16,201. 5,051 profit. That's obviously bought your new car. And myself, I put down 11,650, and my returns were 13,107 with a 1,457 profit. So we're all in profit this year, but Johnny's just squeaked ahead with 5,000 profit there. And on the scores for the entire year, Jesse is ahead with 8 wins on the season, or 8 points. We still give a point for a tie. John is also can still tie it up with the Super Bowl, and he's on 7 for the season, and I'm lagging way behind on 2. So if you want to listen to predictions, it's Jesse. If you want to listen to betting, it's John. But you can still tie it up, John, for an overall tie for the entire season if you pick differently to Jesse for the Super Bowl predictions. And if you want to do that this week,
I haven't heard any
next week.
lines yet. Yeah, I haven't heard any opening lines yet. I haven't really even paid much attention to it because I tend to get really sick of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's just because it's just 2 teams and one of them that we really fucking hate and don't want to see there. And
I do.
If Brock Purdy didn't get hurt, I would have given 49ers a good chance of winning that game.
Yeah,
the defense was playing tough. I think all the air went out of San Francisco once they saw Purdy go down.
You know what that sounded like?
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, I'll tell you what. The Eagles have the look. I've been saying it. The Eagles have the look. So for me right now, I think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm on the Kansas City side.
The Eagles are more complete, I think. And I really think that it depends a lot on how hurt Mahomes is. I thought that Cincinnati was going to win last week, and I thought that they were going to be able to pull it off when they started. I mean, I thought they were controlling the game until the very end. The ticky-tack 15-yard call at the end that I thought that, they're going to call that every time. Especially at when you're Mahomes or Joe Burrow. He's out of bounds, and when there's that much violence, the hit maybe wasn't that hard, but because of the speed, I mean, they hit the bench like that. They go freaking bowling into all kinds of people. That flag's coming out every time. So everybody quit crying, including you, Scott.
I'm not crying.
All right, give me your impressions on the games last week. What did you think?
Tight for the Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes looked a lot better than I thought he was going to do. I did say last week I saw him doing walkthroughs, and I saw him doing I did a press conference, and he walked off quite well on the ankle. It was clearly heavily strapped, but Mahomes is Mahomes, as you said, John, and he could just come out with some ridiculous plays from nowhere, and it proves he does have a good arm, as Jesse said earlier. He's got that pocket presence, and he can step up in the pocket and actually deliver a ball, which was good to see. Joe Burrow, it was very, very tight this game. The offensive line was pretty awful. It regressed again to what it was in the snow against the Bills. They seemed to be really dominant with them 3 new offensive linemen in. This week, it just didn't work at all. Whether the pass rush was a lot better and Spags was calling up a lot more plays for Kansas City, I don't know. But it just looked like it was the Joe Burrow of last season. He's getting smashed every single play, taking a sack on every single drive. And you just think they just seemed to run out of luck, I think.
Yeah. I kind of looked at that because last week it looked like or not last week, the week before, it looked like the Bengals really took it to the freaking Bills and punched them in the mouth with that offensive line. And every time I talked about it with somebody, they would always say, oh, the Bills, man, they just fell apart. And I thought the opposite. I thought, well, there's two ways to look at it. When Bills fell apart or they got knocked out. And I thought they got knocked out, but you look and see what the Chiefs did with that.
Yeah, I think the Bills just fell apart, man.
I think you're right. I'm changing my opinion.
As far as the Philadelphia Eagles, they've had the easiest path to the Super Bowl than any team I've ever witnessed before in my entire life.
Their fault. You can't blame that.
No, you can't. But they're going to play a team now that's going to be ready to fucking play. I mean, San Francisco was ready to play, but unfortunately, their third string quarterback got hurt, and you're going up against the likes of Josh Johnson and Daniel Jones. I mean, easy pass. So now Kansas City's going to come for them, and don't be surprised if you see the exact same pressure as you saw last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Kansas City defensive front, they're big, fast, strong, and it'll come at you.
Chris Jones is a beast, isn't he?
He's having a monster year.
Monster, man. Monster. I think he's all pro, I believe.
Well, didn't they say just let him go out there and do his thing? And I mean, he freaking, at the end of the game, he said, fuck it, we want the ball, and bam.
Yeah.
Went in there and started whacking people.
So I think I think the Eagles, my early thoughts is they're going to have a rude awakening. They've had a pretty easy path through the Super Bowl.
Yep, very easy. Yeah. I agree with you there. That Cincinnati mayor, I bet he feels a bit fucking stupid.
What a fool. Burrowhead.
I like players giving him shit, though, man. I like that.
Yeah, that was funny.
What was it? Mahomes' father? Did you see him smoking the Burrow cigar?
Yeah, I did.
Now, the thing that I caught in that fucking video was when they caught up with it, he went, yeah, my favorite son done did it again. And I thought about his other kid, that fucking dickhead little shithead that always is dancing around all over the place. And I thought, that probably is his favorite son. No wonder.
I think they've disowned that motherfucker.
Yeah,
Jackson Mahomes.
Oh, Jackson, what a fucking douche.
I mean, he named him after Jermaine Jackson. Did you know that?
Maybe. Michael Jackson. Tito. Some good brothers there. Anyway.
Have to name him after Tito. All right. So like I said, I haven't even looked at opening lines yet. I don't even care about opening lines. Super Bowl.
Right now it's a pick 'em, I think. Right now.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to move too much. Maybe one or two.
Yeah. I can see it move up to -1 for the Eagles.
I could easily see them setting it like a 60 over under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could easily be like 90 points.
That's good. And to me, I think this might be a lower scoring game than people would think, like a 23-19 type of game.
Dude, 42-37 is lower than I think. So yeah, it could be.
Yamstarch has got a really good point there. I mean, there was things came out about obviously Eagles fans and about wives not wanting to travel anymore. When is something going to be done about that? They're just fucking horrible people.
The Philadelphia people, it's a trash city. It's trash fans. They're a trash team. And we fucking beat them. So fuck y'all, Philadelphia Eagles.
We're still the only team to beat Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts at QB.
That's right. That's right. So, I would say that when Philadelphia wins the Super Bowl, if they do, for one, dudes, I got a great idea. I mean, quick business idea number 3. All right. We all invest a little bit of what we won this year in our winnings here. And we start flavored horse shit. These fucking Eagles next week. We put some we put some barrels of chocolate in front of these horses. We put some vanilla in front of them. Put some cinnamon in front of a couple.
You just gave me an idea for Keith's for his if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, Keith for the Hog Farmers Charity. We'll do instead of the Miracle Whip Challenge, we'll do the Philadelphia Horseshit Challenge.
Oh no, I'm making that's terrible. No, but we could shave him. We could shave Eagles in his chest.
Getting it fed by his wife in an Eagles jersey. Yeah,
fed by.
That's got to be. That's got to be quite a bad household. Maybe that's why Keith's not on here at the minute, because he knows that the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. Maybe.
Might be.
Eagles in the Super
Yeah, no, Eagles fans are terrible, man. Who fucking beats up Santa Claus, man? I mean, come on.
You know, there's a lot of stories about that, and there's a lot of stories about a lot of the things. Like when the Santa Claus was drunk, he was fucking acting like an asshole, and people started throwing batteries at him. Michael Irvin, right when they were booing Michael Irvin, the fact of the matter is that Deion Sanders came prancing over and was doing his freaking God thing, doing his preacher Deion thing, and they were kind of booing him. But I'm not making any excuses for him. I'm just saying, look, man, people are assholes everywhere.
They beat up Chief Z.
They did.
I mean,
they did. People are assholes no matter where you go. All right. And then in New York, if women went to the Jets game, they got yelled at when they went past this one fucking concourse all the time. Show your tits by hundreds of people. Show your tits. Look, man, people go to football games, and if I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you. You can't hold your fucking liquor. What's the matter with you? You're goddamn adults. The fuck's wrong with you? That's all there is to it. You can have fun.
That's all there is to
it. You're a fucking adult. God damn it. That's what I think when I see these fucking assholes fighting. They're like 40 years old. They're fighting at a fucking football game. It's like, God damn it. Hold your beer, you fucking lightweight. What are you, drinking Coors Light like a teenager, getting drunk off of 3 of them? Starting to fight. Let me tell you something about my Steelers. Fucking idiots.
Well, this is the weird thing, John. You see, I got the piss ripped out of me by all the other Brits by saying I can't hold my beer, and fucking it's like piss war out there. I mean, I was like, what is this shit I'm drinking? It's just I couldn't even get drunk. It was great.
Where in the United States?
Oh God, awful. Bud Light. Come on now.
Oh,
what's that? Ugh, awful.
If the videos were leaking from fans at FedEx, it would be whipped. You know it. I know it. But see, they pride themselves in that kind of stuff, you know, and they're all happy about it and whatever. But we see on social media all the time that if it doesn't matter what you do, if you do the best thing in the world, look, I just saved 100 puppies from a burning building. You fucking dick! You left 2 of them behind. You fucking goddamn, Jesus Christ! Somebody's always going to be a dick, and they do it just because they like watching people come at them and tell them, you're an asshole. And they sit in their basement and they scratch their balls and they eat the fucking piece of Cheez-It that was left on their cabinet from last night. And they have no life. They just sit there and they go, oh, I owned you. Fucking grow up, you goddamn clowns.
Yeah, I mean that's Twitter in a nutshell, man. It's a fucking clown show. I mean, I like it. It's straight up fucking clown show.
It's hard to find people anymore, man, because the algorithm has changed. I don't see fucking shit.
That's why I put like everybody that I want to follow that I converse with. I just turn the notifications on and I just go to my notifications.
Hey, congratulations, way to go. He see in Japan that's known as Pitwata. So if you ever go to Japan and order Pitwata, they'll give you a Bud Light. That's a fact.
Don't drink strong zero. That's a serious bit of alcohol there out of Japan. Woo-hoo-hoo. That stuff will send you into next week.
I want some real sake.
The sake's good. No. All right. I'm happy with my Miller Lite. That's right. Well, I have trash taste, and I don't care.
No. I don't say it's trash. I just think that maybe I'm just used to different beer over here, and European
you are
all right, but.
You are
fucking goddamn Guinness. Good God, disgusting.
Guinness is all right. Yeah, even Yam's saying strong zero is dangerous. It is. It's I had 2 cans of that once, and it didn't end well. That's all I'm gonna say.
My asshole hurt for a week.
I woke up in Liverpool. It's 4 hours away.
There's me underwear boys. All right, so
next week we'll do a season wrap up and Super Bowl picks.
Yep, Super Bowl picks, season wrap up, and then I guess we'll see you right before free agency. We'll talk about free agency because I mean it's a couple of weeks away now.
Move to season 3. We are wrapping up next week. We'll wrap up season 2 of the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, and then
So
cheers to that.
Right. We appreciate everybody that does like listening in and having fun with us over here in the chat and all that kind of stuff, and viewing over on there on Twitter and all that sort of thing. If you have any comments or suggestions for the show, fuck off. We don't really care. I don't want to hear what you think about what we ought to do. I'm going to
give a fuck.
Right. We're going to do whatever the hell we want, and that's the end of that. So I think that's part of the charm of the show. You know, this is the only show that will discuss what color Tanya's thong is today.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all there is to it. You know. So.
Lord have mercy.
God damn it. Did I miss something? What color is it? Somebody's got a picture. Holy shit.
Oh,
all right.
All right.
We'll see y'all next week. Everybody have a good weekend. It's going to get cold for a day. You know, I was saying this the other day. The fucking groundhog. Do y'all have something like Groundhog's Day over there?
Stupid.
My wife watches that.
Really?
The actual
they have it on television?
Yeah, just because she actually tunes in to watch it every year. Is it going to be? She texted me saying it's 6 weeks of winter. I was like,
my God.
You're not watching that again.
We have it's town nearby or my area where they the film Groundhog Day was Bill Murray was based out of. They do a huge celebration and it's like this backyard town and they get drunk for a fucking week leading up to Groundhog Day.
Fuck with the groundhog.
Yeah, it's leading up to Groundhog Day. They get drunk for a fucking week. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I'll tell you what. You know, it's crazy anymore because I can remember when winter actually meant something around here, man. Nowadays it averages around 50 degrees. And I'm thinking
it's gonna get cold. It's gonna get cold tonight.
Tomorrow, and then Sunday it'll be back into the 40s, and then by Monday it'll be 50 again. And it's like, okay, we should have the groundhogs show up in October and tell us if we're going to have 6 days of winter this year, or if I'm going to see 6 flakes of snow because I haven't yet. And
it snowed yesterday morning.
Really?
Here.
Yeah, I haven't seen shit of it. I will say this: it's nice on the electric bill, but it ain't right.
Yeah,
this ain't right. So
weird. Global warming. It's real.
Yeah, of course it's real. And you know, it's all fucking. You can't. You can hear everybody fart in England, according to Scott.
And just don't just watch out for chewing on them. They might jump.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, that was a highlight of this year. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this: does your wife look at like classic Groundhog Day channel? You know, see like what did Groundhog do in 1967? He's going.
No, it's just on. It's on the weather channel that we get from. It's the actual US weather channel. So. She likes to watch that, which is fine. She likes to watch home improvement shows from the US. So I get all the US channels over here. So she's like, right, the groundhog's on again. I'm going to watch it. Is it 6 weeks? I'm like, you fucking weirdo.
Would you like me to give her a bit of American trivia? All right. Do you know why that the town is called Gobbler's Knob?
No, but it does make us laugh every time we hear about it, obviously. But yeah.
Well, yeah, it was named after the town horse, Sadie the Slut. And, you know, that's where she would have everybody meet for a farthing, and they would have themselves a good old time.
Good God.
And then the groundhog showed up and was like, holy shit, this is my fucking house. Get away from me.
And
they went, hey, 6 more weeks of winter. Woohoo.
What's that? The place called Punk's something? I can't remember.
Gobbler's Knob.
Yeah.
Oh, Punxsutawney.
Punxsutawney, that's it.
Punxsutawney, which probably tells me that what happened was back in the day, Jesse, all right, when the British, you know, when the settlers came over here from England, okay, they didn't send their best. They sent the motherfuckers that couldn't talk and that fucking had all kinds of goddamn speech impediments. So that town was probably supposed to be named something like Smithville, but I couldn't talk to toilet. And that's how they fucking named the town. They sent us these gibbering idiots. Thank you. And there's your American history for the day. Until next time here on the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, I'm your happy host, Ding Dong Jesse, and classing up the joint, as always, talking about everybody farting in England. Scotty H. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.